Have you ever had an argument so bad you thought prison might be easier? Not a hotel, not a drive, not a bar. This man chose federal bank robbery. And I get it. This sounds like fiction, but it's not. This is real. We'll talk about it. Salute. Welcome back to Dumb Crimes and Criminals. I am your host, Rick. You're now tuned in to the funniest true crime podcast in the world. We are back in the building. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Dumb Crimes and Criminals, the funniest true crime podcast in the world. Feel free to hit the link in the show notes. Follow the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, comment and like the podcast. I would definitely appreciate that. I'd also appreciate if you spread the word about the podcast. It costs you no money, not one penny. They don't even make pennies no more, but even if they did make pennies, it wouldn't cost you not one penny. So hold your boy down, spread the word about the podcast, send it out, email blast it, text it, do whatever you got to do. I definitely appreciate it. Man, if you go back into the catalog, right, of Dumb Crimes and Criminals, I've done quite a few bank robbery stories. Now, I haven't done a bank robbery story like this one. And, I always say, man, if you're going to run up in a bank, there's no telling what you're going to get running up in the bank. There's no telling who's in the bank. It's no telling how it's going to go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're brave. If you can run up in the bank, you're brave. Okay. Today, man, where are we going today? Where are we going? Let's see. Going to Kansas. Going to Kansas City. All right, salute to Kansas City. But we out there with this story. For this story, we in Kansas City. Okay. This gentleman's name is Lawrence John Ripple. He's 70 years old. He's not a hardened criminal. He's more like a cardigan energy. Dad shoes, AOL email type of guy. You understand what I'm saying? This guy, he's just a typical 70-year-old. Now, like I said, if you're going to run up in a bank, man, that's a different level of commitment. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Ripple walks into the bank and hands the teller a note. Now, the note says, "I have a gun, give me $924. $924. I mean, hey, man, to run up in a bank and demand $924, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Why would you ask for $924? I don't get it. That's a weird thing to ask for, man. I feel like if you're gonna run up in a bank, you about to go in there and go all out. You know what I'm saying? I want every red cent in this joint. If I'm ever forced to go up in a bank, I'm not going in a bank for $924. I'm going in the bank to get everything, every penny, every red cent. I need it all. Okay, I need all that. Now, I never rob a bank, but I'm just saying if I did have to, I need everything. I damn sure ain't going in no bank risking my freedom for $924. You understand what I'm saying? Teller gives him the money. Now here's the thing. Okay. He walks in there, tell the teller, yo, I got a gun. The man's $924. She gives him the money. Now here's where it get bugged out. He doesn't leave. He don't run. He don't change clothes. He don't get in the car. He sits down in the bank lobby. Okay? This man goes into the bank, robs it, does not leave the bank. He sits down in the bank lobby. What? Waits for the police to come. When the police get there, he puts his hand up, say, yeah, it was me. I did it. I handed the teller a note that said, I got a gun, give me $924. This is what he told the police. Now, I never heard a story about a criminal robbing a bank that wanted to get caught. Okay? That's different. Why would you want to get caught? Usually, I feel like if somebody's robbing a bank, it's a dire situation. You know what I mean? God forbid somebody's sick. You just need to desperately in need of money. You know what I'm saying? Robbing a bank to get caught is next level. Right? Now, of course, the cops got questions. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get a report of a robbery in progress, and then when I get there, you're just sitting in the middle of the floor with your hands up like, yo, nah, over here, that's me, I did that. I got some questions for you. So the police asked the obvious question, Mr. Ripple, what's going on, man? Why you robbed the bank and then now you basically turning yourself in? Mr. Ripple's response was, I just had an argument with my wife, and I'd rather go to jail before I go home. I'm going to say that again. He told the police that he just had an argument with his wife, and he'd rather go to jail than to go home. If this ain't the dumbest, if this ain't the dumbest, if this ain't the dumbest, yo, my man, hold on, man, okay? Because I'm married. I love my wife, okay? I love my wife from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. Best friend in the world, soulmate, all that. I love my wife. One thing I can tell you is that if me and my wife have a disagreement about something, I am not going to go rob the bank just because we had a disagreement and I don't want to go home. Mr. Ripple, what's going on in your brain, my man? I don't give a damn what y'all, yo, my man, you went to rob a bank. Regardless on what, you did that action. So you're going to have to deal with that consequence. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like, and this is the crazy part. The judge sentences him to probation and home confinement. Yo, he got sentenced to probation and home confinement. Now you can't leave. You just went to the bank and tried to go to jail to get away from your wife because you didn't want to go home, to get locked up, for the judge to put you on probation and send you back home to the point where you can't leave. Now you have to go sit in that. Now you have to go deal with whatever you was dealing with before you went and did what you did. My man, is it worth it? No, it's not. Now you got to go to probation. Now you got to be on house arrest for however long. Like, I don't understand that. You went and committed a federal crime. Okay? You went and commit a federal crime just to get sent back home to the reason why you committed the crime in the first place. Yo. I did a lot of crime, bank robbery stories, man, a few. And I don't know, man, this might be it's one of the wildest. You know what I'm saying? Just off the simple fact that, you know, the irony of, yo, for one, whatever y'all had, that had to be hey man, my man wanted to go to jail. My man wanted to go to jail before going home, just to go to jail and get sent home. So that's different right there. So whatever he was dealing with, the judge made him go home and deal with it. So you should have just dealt with it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's you never know, man. You never know how this stuff works out, man. You know what I'm saying? Word. It's just I can't believe it, man. I can't believe it. Me personally, I never do nothing like that. I'm not going to jail to avoid having a conversation with my wife. That sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then how do you go home now and explain that? Because when you go to jail, you get your phone call. You're going to have to call your wife. You're going to call your wife. You're going to call your wife. So how do you explain that after you go to jail and then you get your one phone call and you call your wife for bail money? How does that happen? You left the house mad and end up on a collect call saying, hey, can you come bail me out? Come bail you out? What's going on? I was mad and I didn't want to, we was arguing and I went and robbed a bank because I wanted to go to jail. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We have to use better judgment because now you can't leave. And in all reality, all you had to do in the first place was just deal with whatever you was dealing with, talk what you needed to talk, and handle that, whatever you needed to handle, when you needed to handle it at home. You didn't have to go commit a federal crime to do so. You understand? You didn't. You didn't have to commit a federal crime to do that. You was best off just handling that at home. What if they would have gave you some jail time? My man, you willing to sit in jail over having a conversation with your wife? You's a different type of breed. You are willing to do jail time around a bunch of men, stinky feet men, then go home and then go home? That sounds crazy to me. I don't understand why people do the things they do. You know, I guess that's what makes us all different. I'll never do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I'll never do nothing like that. Count me out. I'm not trying to go to jail. All right. Now, there's a few reasons and there's a few things that could happen that'll make me end up in jail if you play wrong. But I'm not going to have a disagreement with my wife and go rob a bank just because I want to go to jail and not home. That sounds ridiculous. That sounds ridiculous. And if you're listening to this podcast, please do not follow in this man's footsteps. Please. I don't care what the situation is. Do not go and rob the bank for $924, all because you don't want to go home after an argument. Please do not follow in this man's footsteps. You understand what I'm saying? Because this man wanted to go to jail instead of going home, just to go to jail and get sent home. It makes no sense. This is Dumb Crimes and Criminals. I am your host, Rick. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Do me a favor, spread the word about the podcast. Tell everybody about the podcast. I definitely appreciate it. I'm gone.